DreAllDay.com.
You're now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, especially yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into one bundle, one package, one framework, one mindset, one philosophy, one approach, a daily masterclass. As you heard me, daily masterclass. There's nobody who can do this but me. It is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic, let's talk about what social media is actually for. Now, I have given some episodes. This episode, actually, before I get into that, let me tell you that I have a text line where I want you to text me. You can tell me the best insight that you got from today's masterclass, the best idea that you got. If there's something, tell me what you're going to do different, or how you're going to think different, or approach your work, your life, your business different based on what you heard here today. My number is 305-384-6894. When you join my texting community, and that is me you will be texting with. When you join my texting community, you will not only be able to ask me questions and share challenges, or offer any comments or responses to anything that you hear on this show, since there isn't a formal comment portal for masterclasses or podcasts, or some of you might like to call them. You also are going to get my daily motivation text messages that I send out every single day. Now, today we're doing this episode, the topic again, what social media is for and how to actually use it. I just wanted to put this episode here because we've been talking about several business categories the last couple days. So we talked about the book business, and 2 days ago we talked about getting booked for speaking gigs yesterday. And we had a couple episodes recently where we talked about social media, the use of social media, how it gets misused, how people just don't quite understand exactly what's happening with social media. So I want to make sure we get clear on it here. So in episode 1690, I told you a dirty secret that the social media platforms don't want you to know. I also answered the question, I asked and answered the question in episode 1114, how much does social media matter to or for your business? In episode 490, I told you don't be fooled by the actors on social media, because social media is a television show, just in case any of you didn't know. And then just recently, in the last couple of weeks, we talked about the creator economy and how some creators have some bad ideas. They've been given some bad information or no information about how social media actually works in the business side of it. That was in episode 1862. If you want to be a creator or influencer, listen to this episode now. That's episode 1862. And then 1878, a couple weeks ago, I told you there's no such thing as an underpaid entrepreneur, because people like to say that these creators are small business owners, that they are entrepreneurs. But you can't be an entrepreneur and then claim that an app or a social media platform such as TikTok or Instagram is underpaying you. There's no such, you don't get paid when you're an entrepreneur. You go and create the money. If you're getting paid, then that means you have a job. You are an employee. So you can't complain that a platform is not paying you enough while at the same time calling yourself an entrepreneur. You have to choose one. That doesn't even make sense based on the definition of the word entrepreneur. And I went into detail on that in episode 1862, also 1878. So if you haven't listened to those episodes, go ahead and listen to them. So today, I'm going to explain to everyone how you can use social media. Since I've talked enough about how you should not be using social media and how people have been using it incorrectly for a long time. In episode 1114, again, if you haven't listened to that one, I really do suggest that you go back and listen to that. Any of you who is thinking about, or maybe you are already leveraging social media for your business, or you want to leverage it better in your business, make sure you listen to that episode in all of these that I mentioned here, so you get a full picture of how these things work. I could spend a whole day just talking about social media and business, how to use it the right way. So today, we're going to talk about how to use it. Tomorrow, I'm going to help you understand the concept of the sales funnel and how it works. And then the day after that, 2 days from now, we're going to talk about marketing, a little bit more about marketing. Now, I've talked about all of these topics in the past, and I just referred you to several episodes. And just so you all understand, I mean, you see what number episode this is. We are on number 1895. That's 1,895 straight days where I've been talking here on this show. Now, I would say the majority of the material here on this show has been, personal development, personal growth, things that I guess people will call mindset. But I do give a good amount. I would say around 10% of the material here on this show has been based around business specific topics, because listen, something like confidence, discipline, mental toughness, those apply in business as well. But when I say business specific, I mean things like marketing and selling, and how to get a book out or how to get booked for a speaking gig. Those kind of specific topics, I would say somewhere from 5 to 10% of the material here on this show is about that. So I want to make sure that you understand that. And you can look through the entire archive. Every episode that has ever come out of this show, you have free access to all of it if you just go to workonyourgamepodcast.com. Workonyourgamepodcast.com. Right there on that page, you can listen to any episode in the history of the show, and you can see the list of every episode that's ever come out. So you can actually look through, just in case you don't know which episode you're looking for. Pull up the full list, and then you just use the find function in your browser, and you can just search for a certain keyword. So you want to see anything about social media, anything about confidence, or anything about sports. You just use that as the search, use the find function in your browser. I'm assuming you know how to do that. If you don't, you should Google it. And then you can find that episode, and then right there on that same page, you can listen to that episode, just in case any of you didn't know. Because in the but the podcasting apps, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify, they do not load every episode in the history of this particular show, simply because we got a little bit too much content for them. They can't load all our episodes. It would probably slow down their app. They did it for all the shows that have a lot of material. So in Spotify or Apple, they might only show you the last 300 or 500 episodes, but we have almost 2,000 episodes. So at workonyourgamepodcast.com, that's where you can get all the episodes in the history of the show, always. So just keep that in mind. That link to workonyourgamepodcast.com is also down below in the show notes. So all of that being said, remember my number to text me, 305-384-6894. This topic today is for all the brand builders, business owners, and creators who eat what you kill. All right, you are literally an entrepreneur. I'm not talking about the way that New York Times and Taylor Lorenz tried to redefine entrepreneur and then say that people are underpaid. Well, you can't be underpaid when you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't even, again, goes against the very definition of the term. Now, while I have talked about how social media uses all of us and how social media is leveraging our attention and our time to make money for themselves, that's always been the deal. It's not new. The wool has not been pulled over anyone's eyes. If you understand how business works, you would already have known that. But if you didn't, now you know, because I have informed you on that. Again, back in episode 1690, over 200 days ago. Now today, instead of telling you how social media is using us, let me tell you how to actually use social media. This episode is not me saying what social media needs to do for us as consumers, because they're not going to do it. They have a good hustle going and it's working for them. And like I talk about all the time whenever I mention hustles, it's just that it's not that we are going to change anybody else's hustle. And I would not dedicate too much of my resources to trying to tell someone else to change their hustle, especially if I notice that hustle is working for them. Why would they stop doing it if it's working for them? It's a trick question. They're not going to stop doing it. What we need to do as consumers and users of social media is learn how to play the game. And guess what? Can I tell you something that maybe you can't guess and maybe you can? I have a masterclass talking about how to play the game in life. I actually have 2 of them. Episode 13, 14, I explained to you that hustlers learn how to play the game in life. Like, they don't complain about the game. They learn how to play the game. They don't protest the game. They learn how to play the game. And also episode number 1210, don't complain, play the game. So again, that's 1210 and 1314. Links to all these episodes are down below in the show notes as well. But as I already told you, if you just go to workonyourgamepodcast.com and bookmark that site, any show that I mentioned, you can just go listen to it right there at your convenience. So today, I'm going to explain to you how social media does actually work and what you're supposed to do with social media specifically, be clear, if you're using it for your business. You want to use social media to make money in your business. You want it to help you. You don't even know how, but you just want to use social media to make money in your business. I want to give you full disclaimer. I leverage social media to make money in my business. The app that I use the most often is, assuming that we're not going to call YouTube social media, I don't really consider YouTube social media, but of course I use YouTube. I post to YouTube every day. I post to Facebook every day. I post to Twitter every day, but the one that I most actively use, where I'm actually opening the app and using it a lot myself, is Instagram, simply because I use the Instagram stories function, and that's where you kind of get to see how I go through my day on a day-to-day basis. Whereas on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, I have no status updates, videos, posts, pictures, etc. But I'm not using it throughout the day. I may even schedule posts and never actually open the app over the course of the day, respond to comments, things like that. But Instagram is the one that I use most actively. So if you want to see how I do that, then I would suggest you just follow me. My Instagram is just my name, Dre Baldwin, all one word. I'll be easy to find. And I also run advertisements through Instagram, sometimes through Facebook. I don't do YouTube ads. I do not do Twitter ads. I've done some Facebook ads, but I like using the Instagram ad platform because it's a lot simpler. Facebook ad platform is very deep, it's very rich. It's not even that it's complex. It's easy to understand, but it's so rich that you could spend literally your entire day going through Facebook ads and setting things up because they give you so many options. It's not confusing to use. It's just very, very deep. And you could spend, like I said, your whole day doing it. So I prefer to use the Instagram ad platform. Now I have an Instagram. My Instagram account is a business account connected to my Facebook business account, which means when I run ads on Instagram, I pay through it through my Facebook ad profile. And I'm just giving you all this as full disclaimer so you understand I know what I'm talking about. I pay through my ads through Facebook, even though I'm running them on Instagram, and I can adjust them on Facebook, even though they're running on Instagram. And I can choose where to show those ads. Only show them on Instagram or only show them on Facebook. But since I use Instagram most actively, I usually contain my advertisements to Instagram. And that's as of this recording because it's working on Instagram, meaning how much I'm spending per click or per impression or per conversion. I know that it's making me money, so that's why I just stick to Instagram. But as we all know, things change very quickly. Next month, things might change. The way that Instagram/Facebook runs their ad platform and how much they charge could change, and therefore I will need to change. But as of this recording, that's the way that I do it. Again, just to let you know, the person giving you this information today, I'm not just talking theoretically, I'm talking about things that I know through using these platforms. So all that being said, let's get into our points. The topic once again today is what social media is for and how to use it. What social media is actually for, business-wise, and how to use it. Point number one, for all of us who are creators, all of us who are creators and we sell and we eat what we kill, social media is a tool for awareness. I want you to tattoo that word on your brain when it comes to your use of social media. All of you entrepreneurs out there, all you brand builders, and all you who want to leverage Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, etc. to make money. Awareness is what you're using social media for. Translation. You leverage your TikTok and your Instagram and your Twitters to let people know who you are, what you do or offer, why you do it, and how what you offer can help the viewers, subscribers, or followers through your work. That's the reason that you use social media. Social media is not for you to sell your stuff. Let me say it one more time. Social media is not for you to sell your stuff. Now, while of course, you don't have to never mention that you have some stuff for sale. You probably should some way let people know that you have stuff for sale. That's part of the awareness. But the purpose of social media is not for you to consummate transactions. Even though, social media is not a place where it's going to let you do the transaction right there on the spot. I'm sure there's some parts of it that let you do that, like buying clothes and stuff. And I'm sure they'll open it up even more because they want to have more control and keep you there. But even if you're saying, hey, I have a course, if you just go here, you can buy my course. Social media is not really for that. And again, I'm not saying you can't ever do that. I do that every now and then, but you want to do that sparingly. All right, kind of like you want to eat potato chips and candy sparingly as your overall nutrition, like your overall eating lifestyle. You don't want that to be the main thing. You don't want that to be the main thing in your social media. The purpose of using social media is to drive awareness, meaning, again, who, what, why, and how. Just keep those words in mind. That's why you use social media. Who you are, what you do, why you do it, how you do it, and how it can help people. Those are the things that when you post to social media, you are letting your audience know. You don't even have to be explicit and say that you sell anything because people are not dumb. They know that that you don't make any money just for following you on social media. And they also know that to get the full course of whatever it is that you do that could actually help them, they're probably going to have to go a little bit deeper than just liking your page on Facebook or retweeting your tweet or leaving a comment on your TikTok video. They understand that. Consumers understand that. And the type of consumers that are going to buy from you, all right, they would need to understand it. If you need to spell that out for somebody, they're probably not going to be smart enough to buy anything from you. So it's not even worth your time. So understand awareness. This is the key word that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to using social media as a business person is awareness. Because another reason why I'm telling you this is that the social media platforms, they are really smart. All right, they have engineers, highly paid engineers whose whole job is all day. They're sitting at computers and figuring out what we are doing, how we're using it, and how they can get their most valuable resource, which is our time and attention, how they can get as much of it as possible and keep it inside of their applications. There are people whose full-time job is figuring that out, all right, how to keep you on their app, okay? And because these people are really smart, all right, these aren't monkeys doing this. These are human beings who are really smart with big, impressive degrees and high salaries. They're getting better at smothering any type of salesy content. So any content that you put out where you're really just trying to sell your product and it will require people to leave Instagram, for example, to go buy your product, they're getting better at kind of smothering that type of content, at suppressing that kind of content and not letting it get spread as much as it could possibly get spread. Whereas if you give the exact same message but don't mention that somebody can buy something and don't tell people to go to such and such website, that same material would get viewed more and seen more, and it would get spread more. It would get more reach through the app simply because you left out the part about where people leave the app and go buy your thing. The apps are getting good at this. They understand these things. All right, there are humans behind it. There's artificial intelligence behind it. There's engineering behind it. This is all part of their algorithm. So being that these platforms are so smart, you don't want to use social media platforms as a way to say, hey, just go buy my stuff. Another reason why you don't want to do that is because your consumers don't want to hear that either. The first thing your consumers want, especially if they're following you on social media is more surface, is they just want to know who, what, why, and how. All right. Every time you post on social media, think about which of these questions are you answering. You can answer more than one, but make sure you're answering at least one. Who, what, why, and how. That drives awareness. All that said, let's move on to point number 2. Today's topic, once again, what social media is really for when it comes to business and how to actually use it. Number 2, you need to have a funnel in place. Does everybody know what a funnel is? Let me make sure that we are clear on that before I go any deeper, because I want to make sure I'm not going over anybody's head with this topic. You need to have a funnel in place. First of all, let me see if I can give you the dictionary definition of a funnel, if there's one here that makes sense. All right, definition, quote, a tube or pipe that is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom, used for guiding liquid or powder into a small opening. That's good enough. All right, that's the dictionary definition of a funnel. Now let me give you the business/marketing definition of a funnel that I am going to explain to you. A funnel is not necessarily a website. It doesn't have to be a website. You can have a funnel without having a website, even though many of you have websites. A funnel is simply a step-by-step process that you create to move your intended audience from not knowing you to buying from you. That's what a funnel is. A funnel moves people from maybe very light awareness into an actual commitment, i.e. a purchase, making a sale. And understand that even though you may not be familiar with the terminology of funnel, and I'm doing a whole episode on that. I think that's tomorrow's episode. Yes, tomorrow. I'm gonna do a whole episode on the concept of funnel, so you will understand it in depth with the next episode after this one. Understand that you have used sales funnels. They have been used on you in the past many, many times. If there's anyone listening to this, if you have ever bought anything, you have been through a sales funnel, even though you might not have even known you went through a sales funnel. Now, you have funnels where people actually call them a funnel and use funnel design software. For example, any of you who has bought a book from me, if you've gotten a book, The Mirror of Motivation or The Third Day, or any of my books at hoophandbook.com for you basketball players, you've gone through a funnel through actual funneling software, where you get the book on this page, and the next page I'm going to offer you something, the next page I may offer you something else. That is literally software that is called the funnel software. And there are different softwares out there that compete against each other for people like me to use to sell their stuff. And that's one type of funnel. But I'll give you another example that everyone would know, even if you're not knee deep in marketing, or you're not tech savvy, or you haven't ever built a website and don't ever need to. Have you been to a grocery store before? Yes? Okay, when you go to a grocery store, when you walk into the store, you go through the aisles and you buy whatever it is that you want to buy. But you notice at the end of every aisle, whether at the front end or the back end of every aisle, they have like that. It's like a small space at the end of the aisle where they might have an item that's on sale. Like, oh, these potato chips are on sale. And the whole stack is all those potato chips. And it tells you what the price is and how they're on sale from their normal price. And they're trying to entice you to do what? To put those chips in your cart and to buy them. And at the end of each aisle, they have that, right? They have some type of special or something that they're trying to get you to pay extra attention to. That is a funnel. And then when you get to the end of your shopping experience and you're standing in line to pay for your stuff at the grocery store, what do they have next to the cash registers? Now, I know a lot of stores have the self-checkout now, but let's just assume you go to the checkout that has an actual human there while that still exists. What do they have right next to it? They got a bunch of magazines and a bunch of small little tchotchkes and trinkets that you can buy, like a candy bar or a magazine or some air freshener or some breath mints. What is that? That's the funnel. That's the back end of the funnel. They're trying to get you to add more products to your shopping cart, your literal shopping cart, before you check out and make your purchase. They're just trying to make a few extra dollars off of you right there when you buy. That is a sales funnel. And then if they get your phone number or your email address, what do those companies do? What does Target do when you have a Target card? What does Amazon do when they have your information? Whenever they get a new product in, or they just want to alert you about a product, might not even be new, that's related to a purchase you made in the past, what do? They email you, they text you, they call you. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to come back to the store and go back through that funnel again. Why? Because you're going to buy more stuff and they're going to make more money. Now, it's not like they're using you. I want to be clear when I'm talking about these things. It's not like this is not nefarious or malicious. They're not using you. They're not stealing from you. They're not doing anything dishonest. Okay, you're getting what you want, which is the groceries or the items from Target or Amazon. They're getting what they want, which is to serve you and to make money. Everybody is winning. This is a win-win situation all around for everyone. I'm just helping you all understand this is how sales funnels work. And a sales funnel does not need to be a website that is coded and you have to be some computer geek. A sales funnel happens all the time with people. When you go on a date with somebody, let's say you meet somebody on a social media dating app and they eventually become let's just say you go on a date with someone on a social media dating app. You meet them on Tinder or Bumble, or I don't even know the apps out there. I'm off the market, but whatever apps there are out there, y'all know what they are, you single people. You get one of those apps and you see somebody you're interested in. So you hit a button or whatever you do to indicate interest. If they're interested as well, that's step one in the funnel. Now you two can message each other. That's step two in the funnel. Now, maybe if that messaging goes well, you two will make a mutual agreement to meet in person. Step three in the funnel. Now, let's say you meet at Starbucks. That goes well. Okay, now let's set a time to have a date and let's go out to dinner. We did 10 minutes at Starbucks. Now let's go have lunch or have dinner. That's step four in the funnel. Now you're at dinner. If dinner goes well, then all right, maybe we'll do it again. That's step five in the funnel. If that goes well, then maybe you'll do it a few more times, step 6, 7, 8, however many times you do it. Then maybe one day you invite them to your place or they invite you to their place. Now it's another step in the funnel. Then maybe eventually you become an item. You get into a relationship. Let's call that step 10. Then eventually you meet each other's parents. Step 11. You have a kid together. Step 12. And this may be interchangeable with maybe you get married. Step 13. Or you move in together. Step 14. And you live happily ever after. Step 15. Now at any point in this funnel, that is a sales funnel, by the way, because you're selling yourself, they're selling themselves to you. That is a sales funnel. Now, at any point in this sales funnel, either one of you could decide, I'm not interested in this product anymore, and you can drop out of the funnel. But the goal is your goal for you personally is to move someone that you're actually interested in through every step of that sales funnel, whatever steps you want. Now, maybe you're not interested in having kids, so you'll remove that step from your funnel. Maybe you don't want to get married, so you remove that step from your funnel. Maybe you're interested in meeting a girl or a guy, having casual sex, and leaving it at that. So maybe your funnel is only 3 steps. And if that works for you, that works for you. But these are sales funnels. There are different ways of doing it, but this is a funnel. Step 1, step 2, step 3. The only thing you need to understand about a sales funnel is it is a step-by-step systemic process for moving people from the beginning awareness to the end, which is whatever your end goal happens to be. If you're in the marketing and sales business, you sell products online, your end goal is to sell your product or service, or products, services, plural. If you're in the dating game, your end goal, again, it may be to find a husband or wife, maybe it's to find a casual sex partner, maybe you're just trying to meet friends, whatever it is you're into, there's a funnel for that. There are steps that are being followed, even though you may not be consciously thinking about them, there are always steps being followed. So this is what a funnel is. And again, I'm going to explain that in even more detail. I talked about it a lot just now, but tomorrow I'm doing a whole episode on that. I should copy and paste this and use it in tomorrow's episode. But anyway, we're still here on point number 2. The topic today is what social media is for and how to use it. You need a funnel in place if you're using social media for your business. Okay, let me make sure I'm being clear on this. Again, a funnel does not have to be some big complicated website. For those of you who may be affected by that idea and thinking that you can't do it or you don't know how to do it. A funnel is just a step-by-step process that moves people from not knowing you, meaning no awareness at all, to eventually buying from you. Okay? Now, there's this guy I saw on Instagram. I actually didn't see him on Instagram. I saw him, I was Googling something, and I saw an article that he wrote, and he just embedded an Instagram post of his. His name is Mike Walters, and he talked about the 6 steps of a sales funnel. Those steps being awareness, interest, consideration, intent, evaluation, and purchase. Now, don't worry about remembering those or writing them down, because tomorrow my entire masterclass is going to be on those 6 steps. So shout out to Mike for giving me that idea. Tomorrow I'm going to do a whole masterclass just on those 6 steps, because it is 100% correct. Now, understand that as people move through your sales funnel, not everybody moves at the same pace. Social media is the top of your funnel. Everybody knows what an actual funnel looks like. I'm talking about the physical object of a funnel. It's this big wide thing at the top, and then at the bottom is narrow, just like the dictionary definition that I gave you. Understand that social media is just the top of your funnel. It's just a way to draw awareness. This is the value of social media right here. Okay, so this is one thing. Again, keep this in mind. If you don't remember everything from today's episode, here's another one to remember. Social media is a way to get people into your funnel, i.e. to create awareness about you and what you do. That's what social media is good for. This is a positive of social media. It's a good way to meet people and know what's going on. Social media is basically the hub of where, quote unquote, everybody is at. So it's a good idea to be on social media because that's where everyone's at. It's a good way for you to see and be seen. That's the good thing about social media. Now, the next thing, once you understand that, you're here, all right, you're seeing people are seeing you. Now you got to have some type of strategy about what you're doing with it. And that's what we're going to talk about in tomorrow's masterclass and a little bit here today. So when you're on social media and you have people following you, I don't care if you got 5,000 or 5 million or 5 people following you, now they are aware of you. Now you have some awareness. Or if you run an ad on your social media platform, now whoever you paid to get seen by, now they are aware of you. The good thing about social media, another good thing about social media, especially when it comes to advertising, is that you can specifically target certain types of people based on who you want to reach. I can run an ad on Instagram today and say, only show my ad to females who are ages 25 to 34 who live in the state of Texas. You can literally set your ad in that much detail. You can get even more detail than that. I can say who live in the state of Texas, who are also, they have shown a leaning towards Democrat. And they also already like Barack Obama's Facebook page. I can target Barack Obama fans in Texas who are Democrat, who are age 25 to 34, and who are female. I can do that. You can get that detailed and even more detailed than that, literally, on social media when it comes to running advertising. So that's what I mean when I say it's so rich, you can get really deep into that rabbit hole. So the good thing about that is, once you understand it, is that you can target exactly who you want to reach. When you know who your target audience is and you know exactly who you're selling to, you don't have to waste any of your time, attention, or energy or focus giving your message to people who you know are probably not interested. You can only focus on the people that you want to be interested in. I can do a post on Instagram today about basketball and only target basketball players. Now, let's say I'm making a post about how to get recruited to college. I'm not going to target people who are 35 years old because they're not trying to go to college. I'm going to target people who are 14 to 18 because they're the ones who are thinking about a college scholarship. So you can get really, really detailed in that way so that you know that you're filling up your funnel with the right type of person, the right type of customer who is ideal for actually buying your product. So you don't, again, if you're selling feminine hygiene products, you probably don't want to send men into your funnel. So you can target the type of woman who you know would be interested in that product so that you're filling your funnel up with the right type type of consumer so that when they go to step 2, step 3, step 4, they don't ever get to a point and say, okay, well, this is just not for me. Or at least you're lowering the chances of them saying that. So you're targeting the right type of person. And again, this whole sales funnel conversation can go very, 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 very deep. But I'm not going to get too deep on you. Your followers, when you're on social media, I'm out of that part now. When your followers are looking at you on social media, now they are aware of you. All right, they're following you, so it means they know that you exist. It is now your job to move them through your funnel. Ideally, you want to move that conversation to a platform that you own as quickly as possible, that is also comfortable for them, and that varies depending on who the person is. You want to move that conversation to your platform as quickly as possible, so you are not subject to social media's whims and algorithms. Now, you understand what I just said? So, for example, let's just say I put a post up, and we don't have to say it, this actually happened. I put a post up on Instagram today, and I'm talking about something that has something to do with my philosophy and what I do, right? Now, somebody's going to see that post and they're going to say, okay, I like what Dre's talking about. He seems cool. Or maybe they're going to start following me based on my post. Or maybe I'll boost the post and get more people to see it so I get myself more followers on Instagram. Now, my job, now I got these people paying attention to me. My job is to move that person who just started following me yesterday. I want to move them onto my platform, onto my website, into my sales funnel, onto my email list, onto my text message list as quickly as possible in a way that they're comfortable with the understanding that, number one, not everybody's going to ever move onto my list. Some people are going to follow me on social media forever and like my pictures, and they will never go onto my email list. They will never go claim their free copy of my book. They'll never get on my text list, but they will like every picture I post on Instagram. This is just the way that it is, okay? Don't sign up for the class of trying to figure out why people are how they are, all right? There are 8 billion of them on the planet. Do not invest too much time in one that is not on the same wavelength as you. It's okay. That's one thing I have to keep in mind. And the second thing I got to keep in mind is that different people have different thresholds. Some people's threshold is, okay, I like how this person looks. I'm going to get on their email list. Another person's threshold is, okay, I like how you look, but I need a little bit more than that. I need some information. I need to know you're trustworthy. I need to see 10 posts from you, so I got to get a good feel of what you're about. Then maybe I'll get on your email list. Everybody has a different threshold, which is why you want to have that funnel in place. Because when you have a sales funnel in place, let's say you had a 10-step sales funnel, 10 steps in your system, moving people from awareness to actually purchasing, you might have 50 people at step 10, 300 people at step 9, 1,000 people at step 8, 6 people at step 7, 250 people at step 6. So you have different people at different places on your funnel at all times. And the way that you can keep your funnel full, as we like to say, is you're always putting new people into the top of the funnel. This is the value of social media. Every time you post on Instagram, you're putting yourself out there and making yourself available to be noticed by more people who can join at the top of your funnel. That's the value of using social media, is that it can keep your funnel filled up when you have a system and a strategy for actually doing it. Just because you post it on social media doesn't mean people are coming into your funnel. You have to give them something to do. You got to tell them what to do. And when you look and sound credible, people will do what you tell them to do, but you have to tell them to do something. So for example, when I used to post all basketball videos on YouTube, I would tell people, hey, I have these basketball training programs. Go to this website called hoophandbook.com and you can get the program that's about dribbling, or here's the one about dunking, or here's the one about how to do crossover scoring moves. I had to tell them what to do, and I had to have something for them to do. Just as I told them to do it, that thing has to exist. So I had to have all of that in place. That was the back end work that was required of me as an entrepreneur to make sure that my funnel was in place so that I could tell them to do something and then that something actually existed. So you want to move the conversation to a platform that you own, understanding everyone has a different threshold. And some people will never move to your platform no matter what you do because they're just freeloaders, social media freeloaders. And that's okay to have freeloaders on social media. It's part of the cost of using social media because guess what? You are a freeloader on social media. How much did you pay for your Instagram account? It was free, right? All right, so you're a freeloader too. Point number 3, today's topic once again is how social media is used for business and how exactly to use it. What social media is for business and how to use it. Number 3, when you understand social media for what it actually is, not what you want it to be, but what it actually is, it reduces the complexity for you. And this is something that's really important when it comes to moving a person to action. And when I say a person, I'm not talking about your customers. I'm talking about you. For moving you to action, one of the most important things is lowering the complexity. We need to make things as simple as possible and as clear as possible so that people can move to action. Have you ever explained something to somebody that you understand but they don't, but you explained it in so much depth that they were more confused than when you first started talking, and then they end up doing nothing because you made it so confusing that it just seems so complex they never want to do anything. If you ever explain something to someone and you want to move them to action, you need to make it as simple as possible for them. That may even mean leaving out a good amount of detail and leaving out some steps just to make it simple enough that they will start moving so that they have some momentum going. You want to move someone to action, you got to keep things very, very simple. If you get too in depth with people, it goes over their heads, they get confused, and you know what confused people do? Yes, you got it right. Confused people do nothing. When you understand social media for what it's worth, the complexity goes down. So here's my advice to you. Use social media with this mindset that I just gave you and use it in the most efficient way possible. Now, what exactly does that mean? Because that's relative, right? It means make your time investment worth the awareness and the funnel filling ROI that you want it to produce. Now, in order for you to know whether it's doing it or not, you need to know what ROI do you want to produce. How many people do you want coming into your funnel on a consistent basis per how much you post or per how much you're going to invest? I can look at my sales funnel and know, all right, here's how many people came into my funnel yesterday. Here's how many people actually came through the funnel and bought something. Here's how many people are now on my email list. Here's how many likes I got on the last post. Here's how many people are following me. Here's how many new followers, how many followers I lost, how many followers I gained. All right, these people are becoming more aware of me. How can I move these people to the next step in my funnel, which is off of Facebook and onto my platforms? So these are things that you want to have in mind. You need to be looking at these and thinking about these so that when you do start moving people, you can see what's working and what's not. But if you have no KPIs, no key performance indicators, then you'll never know whether something's working or not. You need to get clear on what outcomes you want to get from social media so you know whether you're getting them or not, and whether you should change your strategy, keep doing your strategy, do more of it, do less of it, or just completely throw it in the garbage. And you must actually have a funnel in place. And again, a funnel does not mean a website. A funnel just means you need to know what steps people need to take. Step 1, like my Instagram post. Step 2, send me a DM. Step 3, get on the call with me. Step 4, buy from me. That's a funnel. All right, that can be a funnel. You do not even have to have a website. Let's say you're a coach. You could post something on Instagram, get people to send you a DM because you tell them to DM you. In that DM, you get their phone number or you send email addresses, whatever. You set up a call with that person, and then you sell your coaching right there over the phone, and then you coach them over the phone. You don't need a website at all. You could theoretically do that. Now, I don't do that, but I'm sure there are people out there who do just that. They only have a website, maybe a one-page website with a picture of themselves, and that's it. And they do their selling. That's a 4-step funnel. So your funnel need not be some big complex thing, okay? I want to make sure everybody understands that. A funnel is just your steps, whatever steps you have, all right? It doesn't have to be what I do. It doesn't have to be what somebody else on the internet or some guru does. It's what you do that works for you to serve your ideal customer. Now, you may have to play around a little while before you figure this out, but if you're not playing around at all, then you'll never figure it out. Got it? All that said, have a funnel in place so that you can send all that energy and all that awareness from your audience into something that aside from just your social media platform. Now, once you get people's attention, you got to give them something to do. That's the funnel. Okay, I got your attention. You're following me on Instagram. Okay, here's the next place you can go. Go get this book called The Third Day for free. All you got to do is go to thirddaybook.com or click the link in my bio or swipe up on my story or whatever it is I'm telling people to do. That is my job to figure out what's the next step and making sure that that next step is actually in place so people can do what I'm telling them to do. This is your job as an entrepreneur. All that being said, let's recap today's class, which is what social media actually is for in business and how to actually use it. This is for all my brand builders, entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody who eats what they kill. So I've told you how social media uses us and how people are using it wrong. Now I'm going to tell you how to use it right. For number 1, for all of us entrepreneurs, social media is a tool for awareness. This is the key thing you're using social media for, is to get aware, people to get aware of you. Let people know who, what, why, and how about you. That's it. Social media is not for selling your stuff. It doesn't mean you will never make a sale on social media, but that's not what it's for. And the apps and algorithms are getting better at suppressing anything that's trying to be explicit about selling. Point number 2, you need to have a funnel in place. A funnel is not necessarily a website. A grocery store has a funnel. Whole Foods has a funnel. Amazon has a funnel. A funnel is simply a step-by-step process that you create in order to move your intended audience from awareness to purchasing. That's it. There are 6 steps. I'm going to talk about those in tomorrow's masterclass. Not everybody moves at the same pace, so keep this in mind that just because somebody heard about you yesterday and they bought all your stuff today, doesn't mean the next person is going to do that. Some people might follow you on social media for a year before they buy something from you. Social media is just the top of your funnel. Your followers are aware, so awareness is a good thing. It is your job to get them to move through the funnel, understanding that you might have to use different language to move different people. Right? Not everybody is moved by the same things at the same times. Point number 3, when you understand social media for what it's actually worth and what it actually does, it reduces complexity for you. Many people are flummoxed by the concept of social media for business simply because they don't understand fundamentally what social media is for and what they get out of it versus what you get out of it. When you get clear on that, then it makes a lot more sense. But a lot of people have no idea what social media is actually for, and then they end up in the New York Times complaining that they're not making enough money. So here's my advice. Use social media with this mindset in the most efficient way possible. In other words, the way that makes your time investment worth the awareness and funnel filling ROI that it produces. Now, how do you know if you're getting your ROI? You must have KPIs, which is key performance indicators. I need to do a whole masterclass just on that topic alone. So once you have people's attention, then you give them something to do. That's the next step in your funnel. It is your job as an entrepreneur to know what that next step is and give people the instruction to go and follow it. And again, this all comes through your communication, through your language, and you can see, you go look at all the masterclass I've done on communication. All of these things matter. When you get all these pieces in place, that's when you can start using social media for what it wants and for what you want. You win, social media wins, your followers / customers, future customers, they also win, and the government wins because they get to tax you. This is a win-win-win-win situation. If that's not happening right now for you, it's because there are some things that you just do not know. And I can help you clear those up. So send me a text, 305-384-6894. Let me know how I can help you get clear on exactly how you are using social media for business so that you can start using it in a way that actually produces a return on investment for you. It is very valuable because it's the hub, it's where everybody's at. So you should be there. It's like New York City. Not New York City now, it's a bad example, but New York before the pandemic. You get what I'm saying. All right, tomorrow we're gonna talk about sales funnels. Work on your game. Dre all day.